I feel like someone needs to hear this today, so we're just going to let it rip. There is such a divine connection and such a special connection in non-communicative language. And I just left a hospice center. I've chosen to volunteer some hours every single week to just spend time with people that in the Memorycare unit. And what I'm learning is how beautiful communication is thoroughly just through energy. I think I spent so much of my life just feeling like I had to have the right thing to say, the right thing to do, the right way to present myself. And I'm realizing that truly when you just lead with your heart and lead with your internal world, you can't go wrong. If you are a good human with good intentions and you lead with the heart, what comes from the heart goes to the heart. And I had heard that expression before and I never fully understood what it meant until now I'm embodying it. And so if you, like me, had, or hopefully still have, family that is dealing with dementia, Alzheimer's, memory loss, things of that nature, please hear me when I say this. All is not lost, and they are still very much there. They are just in a different embodiment. And it's not what you say, it's not what they're able to say, it's how we're able to make each other feel. When my grandma was in hospice with Alzheimer's, she was my best friend. And I was in my early 20s, and it was really hard to watch her, what I felt like, disintegrate. And I didn't know how to speak through energy. I just knew how to speak through words. And it was so hard for me to communicate with her. And so I didn't. I avoided her in the last years of her life because I couldn't handle it. I wanted to remember her for who she was, not who she is. And I lived with that for a long time of wishing I could have been there. And then the past 2 years of my spiritual journey has just completely healed me, woken me up, allowed me to connect with her in the most beautiful ways. And I feel like God has led me to now this stage of my life to where I get to connect with someone else's grandma and be there for someone else when they're not able to. And what today's experience made me feel like, oh my gosh, just in service, just to be there for this woman. And this woman, again, she doesn't remember my name. She doesn't remember that she's met me time and time before. But today, we were sitting together and she grabs my hand and she says, people don't do this. And I was like, people don't do what, sweetie? And she's like, people don't this. And I said, connect? She said, yes. She said, people are busy and people don't take, and then she did this again. I go, the time? She said, yes. And then she kept motioning again and she couldn't get the words out. And so I just closed my eyes and I felt what she was trying to say. And I said, people don't take the time to listen. And she goes, yes. And then she goes on this beautiful, I'm not going to say rant because it wasn't mischievous. It was in beauty and service and love and clarification. And she was like, people don't take the time to listen. They don't take the time to connect. They are so busy, and we really need to take time with our children. She said, when they're little, it goes so fast, and we need to take the time to travel and take the time to experience. And it was the most clear I've ever heard her speak. And it was almost like she needed the confidence and the clarification that she was heard. And once that happened, it just came out. And as fast as it came out, it went right back to not being able to communicate as she would like to. But boy, once that door was open, it's almost like I felt everything that she was wanting to say. And at the end of our visit, I told her, it was so good to see you. You are so beautiful. You are so loved. God's got you. God's got this. I will see you next week. And she grabbed my hand and she said, I would love that. I need that. And I grabbed her hand and I said, I need it too. So again, just remember, it's not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it. It's not what you say, it's how you make people feel by just being you. By just allowing your presence to be enough. Have a great day.